Hello student, welcome again. We shall continue our discussion with another forms of business organization, that is a company or a joint stock company. We have discussed that the industrial revolution of the world, it brought very significant changes in the business world, and this significant changes was with respect to the size of the business, with respect to the mechanism of production, with respect to the resources that is owned by a business, the risk, the management, and the capital that is invested in a business. The cottage and this small scale industries, they were substituted by industries which were organized and established for large scale production. And in those industries, huge capital investment were required. The current forms of business organization which existed then, it could not provide the necessary resources and the things that is required for the business organization that was promoted as a result of this industrial organization. So what happened? A need was felt of pulling of the resources as well as capital was needed in a high quality, high amount. Therefore, the investment which was to be made, it was not under the capacity of one single individual. As a result, the formation of joint stock company was taken, and it made it possible all the requirement that was sought for establishment of the business organization. Company can be defined as an association of person. As a result of the industrial revolution, this individual, they collaborated, they associated together, pulling their resources as well as making themselves able to hire professional management or to use professional management. Now this involved heavy risk as well. So sharing of the risk was also possible through these forms of business organization. So if we are to define what is a company, company can be defined in various ways. But as of now, we would begin with that company is an artificial person. Who is a company? It is an artificial person. Artificial point out that unlike human or natural person, it has not taken a birth out of mother womb. It is the creation of law. This company has taken birth by operation of law. So we conclude that it is an artificial person and it has a separate legal entity. The entity of this form of business organization is different from the members who have associated to form these forms of business organization, who have associated to bring this forms of business organization into existence. So they have a separate legal entity, and their entity is perpetual. It means the event that an individual or the member encounters, the event of life of an individual member do not affect the life and smooth operation of the business activities. So it has a perpetual succession. Member may come, member may go, but the companies continue to exist forever. So over here, it has a perpetual succession and a common seal. Now what is the common seal? Common seal is the official signature of the company. It is an artificial person. So whenever, like human being, it has a right to enter into contract, an agreement with any other parties. It can sue other parties for breach of contract. Similarly, other parties can bring suit against a company and can sue a company for breach of contract. So it is an artificial person, but when it enters into a contract, how will we say that yes, this is a contract which is entered by the company? A human being usually puts their signature. Now on behalf of company, we affix the official seal of the company that is deemed to be the official signature of the company. So the common seal is the official signature of the company. This point out that it has a right and it is capable of entering into contract and agreement with third parties. So this is an association of person, or we can say that which have or who have associated to bring this form of business into existence by the operation of law, and therefore we say that this is an artificial person. Now this form of business, as we have seen that the industrial revolution have given rise to this form of business organization. So this form of business organization have a business, the capital of which is divided into small parts, shares, which is known as shares, and these shares have limited liability. It is not that they have unlimited liabilities, they have a limited liability. So this is the definition of a company. Now, dealing with the features of this forms of business organization, the first feature is that it is an artificial person. I have said artificial person means it has not taken birth from mother's womb like a human being. They have taken birth, or this form of company organization is the result of the creation and operation of law. This business has been brought into existence by the operation of law. So when these persons have associated, fulfilling the requirement of association or associating into forming a company and meeting the other legal formalities, a company is brought into existence. So here it is an artificial person. It has not taken birth like human being, but it has been brought into existence out of the operation of law. So company is an artificial person. Then we have, this is a voluntary association of person. Now what does this voluntary association indicate? Voluntary means out of violation, out of will. The person who have associated over here, they have associated out of their own will. There is no domination. A single individual, we know, cannot form a company, be it in any part of the world. But it is not possible for an individual to form a company. We know, as the definition says. So a company cannot be brought into existence by an individual, but rather by an association of person. But how many persons are there? This voluntary association. How many persons can form? So there are certain guidelines that what is the minimum number of persons who could be associated to form a company. Earlier it was 7. For a company to be formed, if this person associated to require a public company, they can just form. So far private company is concerned, any 2 persons can associate and form a company. So this voluntary association is out of the will of the members. It is not forced, and the minimum requirement is 2 or 7. Now amendment has made certain changes, and as per that changes, the members has to comply to form a company. Then the third requirement is separate entity. Like other form of business organization, the entity, the existence of this form of business organization is distinct and independent of the existence of its member or of its promoters. The person who have taken the effort to promote this company, to bring into its existence, they are known as promoters. So the promoters and the members of the company, they have a distinct and independent existence. than the existence of the company. So, any event with the life in Solomon versus Solomon case, quite earlier held, it was held that members may come, members may go, but the companies remain forever. Now, why this law was upheld? In the annual meeting of the company, a bomb blast took place, and in the bomb blast, entire member died, saving one or two. So, generally it was thought by the people around that the company has come to an end. But then, the creditor who sued and the people or some of the members who were alive, they carried on the business. It was held that yes, the existence of the company is different from the existence of its member. Member may come, member may go, but the companies continue to exist forever. So the existence of the company is distinct and separate from the existence of the members. It is not same, it is not one. So a company has a separate entity. Then it has a perpetual succession. Death, incapacity, insolvency of the member does not affect the life of the company. Whatever may come, company continues to do. Even the member may die. Then, but still the company continue to have. You can compare with the company with a river, which does not lose its identity when many of the tributaries join it. It never loses its identity. It continues to flow. So like that, a company continues to exist with each member increasing, joining or disintegrating. But company continues to flow. It continues to carry its operation. And then it is limited liability. The members who have associated to form this company, they have a limited liability. This limited liability points out two things. The liability of the member may be limited to the extent of the value of their share, unpaid value of the share. If the value of the share is 100 rupees per share, and if Mr. X has taken 100 share, so 100 into 100, that is 10,000, but he has paid only 9,000. The unpaid value is only 1,000. So in the case of the event of dissolution or payment of this liability, for a company whose members' liability is limited by the value of share, the liability of member is confined, or liability of member exists only to the unpaid value of the share. Then what is limited by guarantee? Liability limited by guarantee. For a company which is a company where the liability is limited by guarantee, here the members of the company, they have given a guarantee to what extent they would be bearing the losses or the dissolution expenses in the event of dissolution. So that is a liability or limited liability, be it by share or liability by guarantee. Finally, we have transferability of shares. The shares of these company forms of organization, they are freely transferable. The members, they have certain conditions, but they can use it to their own will. They are freely transferable. If I am a member of a company and I wanted to transfer my right, I can freely transfer it. I can transfer it. There is no restriction. No other person requires, or the consent of other person is not required at all. So the shares are freely transferable. However, there are certain restrictions in case of a private company. Then finally, there is a common seal, and we have discussed it. What is a common seal? This common seal is the official signature of a company. A company is an artificial person. Then where are the limbs? How does it works? We have limbs, legs, ears, hands. Where are the limbs of a company? The members, the board of directors, the promoters, the limbs of those person and the brain of those person are considered to be the brains and limbs of this company. It is they who manages the affairs of the company, and therefore their intention has to be taken in case of any sort of irregularities. So when we say that the company has a common seal, it means every document which is or which represent an agreement on behalf of a company must bear the common seal of the company, and that is the official signature of the company. Every document of the company have this seal, which testifies that this document has been created, made, or it has been entered into by the company. So these are all about the company and its feature. We shall discuss further. Happy learning.